Hello everyone, how's it going today? Says streaming together? Really? Okay, so I clicked on that because I was curious about looking at that, but I don't know how to turn that off. So I guess we just live with that. So let's dive right into our set. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not actually streaming with anyone else. I was curious, like, I thought about trying that out during the charity stream, and it just slipped my mind, and I forgot, so that didn't happen. Because I thought that, that might have been a cool way to, try to increase audience, increase the audience for it. I did close it. That's the thing. It had a button that said "Get Started," and I was like, "Oh, okay. There's more to it than like it's not gonna like give me more information on that screen." All right, I'm just closing it. Twitch just being twitchy. Twitch just being twitchy. But I do have something to bring up. We had a lot of fun during the charity stream with the Cure Hospital Simulator, and we are going to be doing more of that probably next Wednesday. So we will not be doing a Lego build stream that night. I might do one earlier in the day instead. See how that goes. I don't know yet. But and I might wait a week to see, what might be better for that as well. But we're going to be playing some more of the Hospital Simulator next Wednesday, very likely, unless something comes up. But right now, that's what the plan is. And that was the other thing I was looking at the stream together thing is because I might like set that, it might be worth setting that up or, streaming my end. And if I did the stream together, then the chats would hopefully be mixed, and people who are not in Zerfall's chat would go to would still be able to join in and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it. Not Hospitaler Simulator. No. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed ourselves playing that during the charity stream. And basically everyone is like, let's do more of this. When can we do that? Combines the viewership and chats, yes. Does it also I get, because the thing is like there's viewer interaction. You can do join, and I'm not sure how that would work with that. Like, because I doubt that me streaming it while someone else is hosting would really work. All right, let's turn this around. Oh, that's not great. All right, how do we do this? All right, for now, let's get this here. I cannot believe that there's nothing holding this down yet. There is going to be, but nothing yet. You mean like joining in the stream itself? No, so if you stream Cure a Hospital Simulator, people can, and you've hooked it up with your Twitch account, viewers can type join, like !join in the chat, and then Twitch integration, sorry. One of the patients will have your name. Oops. It was a lot of fun. Telling off viewers for getting sick all over our lovely hospital. Yeah, it was very cool. All right, we're gonna need to move these pieces over to the other side. How about we put that there? Move that a little bit over there. All right. The only things that wouldn't work for your chat was redemptions and sound commands from another. Well, yeah, no, I mean that's set up in like the recording software and stuff. Lovely one room with all the load-bearing columns removed. Hey, we can make more rooms, and in fact, I've been playing a little bit off camera to do some of the stuff that I didn't get to do, well, that I chose not to do, I should say, in the stream. So I will be doing more than just running the cash register. But yeah, so I've been playing a little bit myself, and there is a machine that we will have to put in its own room eventually, so. You know, letting patients die in the waiting area because I wasn't noticing that they were there and very sick, and there were no beds. Whoopsie. You don't actually get docked for that. I would assume, since it's like early access and everything, that kind of thing will come later. The machine that goes ping, yes, that is it exactly. That needs to be in its own room. I haven't actually gotten the thing. I was just like looking through the future upgrades to get a feel for what was coming. And I noticed the text that it must be in its own room. Getting a lot of these, which is really nice. Just put it in the bathroom? Oh, but see, we don't get a bathroom. We get a porta-potty. That's the other fun thing. Howdy, Viber Bunny. How's it going? Okay, so this goes on here, and this is connecting these up. I knew it would eventually. So, nice rock outcropping section there. You hurt your knee yesterday and it's a little sore? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Howdy, Tom Brown. How's it going? Hopefully your knee will be feeling better pretty soon. Now your doggies want to walk all All over you? Glad they're smallish. So anyway, the other thing to mention also is that I was looking into the Dragon Quest VII postgame, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined postgame, and it's basically the postgame from the original, and I think I'm good. I don't think that we're gonna... I think we're done with Dragon Quest VII. I certainly enjoyed my time, but it is, like... We had 4 Dragon Quest games in a row. One of the reasons why I don't typically do that for Let's Plays, you know, I don't play like all of the Final Fantasy. I didn't play all the Final Fantasy games straight in a row, kind of thing, is to vary things up and have, you know, not get tired of something, and also so that, like, you know, so that viewers don't get tired as well. That's the other thing. It's no Dragon Quest VIII, no. No. But it's no Dragon Quest VII original either, and that to me is a bit disappointing. Time to get back to streaming old CRPGs. Well, I have some things that I do want to stream, but I'm not sure if I want to dive into one of those right away. That's the other thing. Maybe something a little bit lighter would be good. What would be good as a palate cleanser? That's the question. That is the question. Play some old NES games. I've played most of the ones that I want to play, honestly. C also stands for console, so Ultima 7 SNES, here we go. I need to check out Kiko's inaugural stream of that, see how... See if it made him hate his life choices. It was suffering. Oh, I know. That's that game. That is what that game is. It is nothing but suffering. It's a bad game. A very, very bad game. Shockingly so, actually. Like, sometimes you would think that during playtesting, someone would be like, you know what? No. Just no. Alright, have I missed this? Somewhere, no. There's all of those, but no, I have not. Did I miss one on the other side? No. Nope. Okay. Maybe it'll go on after the end. It was in-house? I find that hard to believe. Like, it is so bad. Oh. That does get turned. All right. There we go. Oh, okay. This goes right there. Not sure if that can even be seen. Well, this is going to be an extra piece, I'm pretty sure. 1x1 gray tile slope. All right. These two pieces. Let's see if I can do this way. Okay, so this goes right there. So that's going to lock this in. And this goes right there. So there we go. It's a pretty nice, like, rock face, actually. And this is angled in, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, but you would think that they would have just gotten whoever did the port for Ultima 6 to do it or something. Tons of games had already been ported. Certainly a long way from the 90s pre-made rock wall pieces, aka burps, big ugly rock pieces. Although I really like those pieces. LEGO still does use them. In fact, they came out with a new one some years back that is also still in production, still being used. They're very sturdy. They're great for giving height and detail. Like, you just need to add some pieces on the front. Howdy, Minor Trader. How's it going? You'd also think that they would bury the entire thing under 10 meters of concrete after the initial playtest. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, is like, it is so bad, and it had to have been bad early on. Why did no one say, maybe we just shouldn't do this? Or maybe we should go back to the drawing board. But at the same time, around that time, they were dealing with EA, so... I mean, they were dealing with EA so much that Ultima 7 has, in addition to a pretty good plot, an extended reference to Electronic Arts. Like, the game itself is kind of a reference to that. Oh, I know. I have played it. My opinion on the game is from experience. The greatest evil of a sphere cube pyramid. Exactly. And Elizabeth and Abraham. Don't forget that as well. Okay. So there we go. Of course, the other reference, yeah, Elizabeth and Abraham. Elizabeth Abraham, EA. Two of the main villains of the game were a direct reference to EA. The game was also an extended reference to Scientology. That port was released in the same year as Final Fantasy VI, so not a whole lot of excuses as far as console capabilities. Well, and Ultima 6 is basically a perfect port. I'm not talking about a new game. I'm talking about Ultima 7. The Black Gate. The whole thing is, among other things, an extended reference to how bad EA is. Gilded Tongue goes streaking through the chat. EA murders people? It's not that on the nose. They were making Ultima 7 at the same time that EA was buying... Wait a second. Nope. At the same time, EA was buying Origin, so... And the people working on Ultima 7 were not happy. I mean, ultimately, those references don't actually change anything about the game. You know, if you renamed Elizabeth and Abraham to Jack and Jill, there is nothing different in the game. If you change the sphere, tetrahedron, and pyramid generators to 3 other shapes, nothing changes. The Scientology reference is a little bit harder to get around that. Yeah, that's more of just like you know, the badness of EA has not gone away, kind of thing. Yeah, and that's also a fair comparison. They are now owned by Mr. Bonesaw. Howdy, Bahamut. How's it going? Gonna have to stay after class. Yes, indeed. There should be some pieces here so that these don't flex in. Like, these can't go in any further, but if you just had, like, a brick and then 2 plates here, then they would press against each other and it would be fine. I could do something with that with 1x1 plates that I have laying around, but it's fine. It was a murder of crows in your flight path? Well, you're just supposed to suck them up into your engine. And then glide to safety. And by engine, I mean mouth, of course. Nom 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 nom. So was the Guardian a reference to EA's evil? Not really. It's more a case of we're making a game, and some of the things in it that don't actually, like, the specifics don't matter, just the fact that they're MacGuffins matters. We can make those references to EA. Do you have bowls of rice with roasted veggies for everyone? I read that as bowels of rice at first, and then I was like, whoa, oh, that's not what you said. Would make it a little different. Slightly. you know, tinge, skosh, smidge. Bowels of rice would have completely different meanings. Yes. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. No, not really. That's not where my brain went with that. But that is a better meaning. Continuing to build up a rock face here. Hello Kitty spam flavor has shown up at the stores. I can't believe they're making it taste like Hello Kitty. Kind of sad how the more spiritual campaigns of 4 to 6, the Guardian is just kind of evil baddie McBaddyton. Well, I mean, at the same time, sometimes things are just evil. Sometimes things are just bad for the sake of being bad. And oftentimes they have a very, very twisted reason behind it. Such as wanting power, and what is more naturally evil than that in terms of, like, frequent evil depictions and evil reality? There we go. And once again, that there, and that there. Spare part of a gray 1x1 tile slope. So we once again have our rock face here. Alright, bag number 52. I don't know that I could say that anything that's a fundamental part of reality is really bad, per se. I mean, like, death is bad, but it's not exactly something that... Like, it doesn't have a choice in the matter. Death just happens. Still prepping the longest high dive run-up? Imagine going bungeeing off of that. I would definitely not want to, but I'm sure there are some people who would. Alright, so we got another Gondor soldier. Put him with his brethren. Okay, I think we're going to be working on one of these two side areas, so I am going to get this back up here for now. A great base jumping spot. I mean, low sodium can be a flavor. I mean, part of the problem is just that the Guardian is off camera, which is also fine. But at the same time, like, if we had just fought, like, more corrupt people or something like that, then, you know, like, just kind of going back to the same well. I never had a problem with the Guardian. But that's me. Since you've only read the 3 books in The Hobbit and not the larger work, that apparently it was Faramir who was destined to go to Rivendell, and Boromir just kind of shouted first and rode off. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read anything. I don't really believe in destiny either. The main books don't do much in terms of like having prophecies or fates. I mean, within the societies as presented, the eldest son taking that duty upon himself is kind of like a right. It actually feels like the entire population of Britannia would struggle to switch a burnt-out lamp without the Avatar. There is that. I mean, I do think that, like, the Ultima 7 really does kind of present Britannia as a land a bit in like, political decline. You know, British clearly not really paying much attention. I mean, he had been ruling for a very long time by that point, so... If by destined you mean Denethor was originally going to send him. I mean, like, that's the other thing, is, like... Boromir is supposed to rule when Denethor passes, as the steward, and sending him off on what may be a fool's errand. You can very much understand Denethor not wanting to do that. Not wanting to send his heir out on such a task. I think Denethor probably didn't understand what the point of it was. I do think Boromir did. And I think that's why he wanted to do it. Yeah. A stash of wood can come in handy for a lighting beacon or a pyre. Lighting a beacon or a pyre. All right, there we go. Get our stash of wood in here. Yeah, I mean, Denethor clearly had a favorite, and his favorite was clearly spoiled, so... Would I would? Would I woodchuck? Is that what you mean? Can't fool you, those are barrels. Hyrulean instincts activate. Hyrule doesn't have barrels. You only have pots. Okay, we get our, Is that gonna go here, or is that gonna go... It definitely seems like it fits that... Yeah, it definitely fits that one better. Alright. Two 1x6s, three 1x4s. I do appreciate that Lord of the Rings did a pretty good job of portraying, like, poor parenting and raising a spoiled child. And the problems that can arise from that. Alright, there we go. Little building there. Okay. Before we move on, we got spare parts of a brown 1x1 cylinder plate, a yellow 1x1 cylinder plate with a hollow stud, gray 1x1 cylinder plate with a bar, and a brown 1x1 cylinder tile with wood printing. Alright, bag 53. So this piece, classic palm tree topper. Basically, you had the segmented palm trees, so you could like actually twist and turn them and put them in different directions and everything like that, so they didn't all look like they were going the same way. And then you'd put the leaves on this. It was also used for torches, for lanterns and stuff, though. There we go, get a flame in there. There we go. And 3 1x1 cylinder bricks in brown. Why does it say M. Agrippa? I don't know. Alright. Another castle wall element there. Howdy, Clelk. How's it going? Alright, another hinge brick here. So nothing going in here yet. Brick. Pair of grill tiles. 1x3. And some inverted slopes. Just finished some curry you made for dinner? Nice. I had a salad. It was a pretty good salad, but still a salad. Get that down so it doesn't disappear. You won't trust lettuce for a few months still? That's fair. I'm pretty sure that my local grocery store doesn't get any of the ones that are infected. So there's that. Castle wall pieces that are 4x1 don't require 2 1x1s to connect them? What's sorcery? I know, right? I like the old ones better. Okay, that goes on right there. 4x4. Nope. 4x4. 4x6, I should say, right there. Sand green 1x1 cylinder plate there, and another wedge plate up front. I also make a point to wash my lettuce when I use it, so. Yeah, I mean, like, my grocery store doesn't use them, doesn't get stuff from them, number one. Number two, there is some, like, you know, attempts at claiming that's not the case. I am suspicious of that, but I don't know. If only we hadn't willingly given up on this whole inspect the food thing. I would be very surprised if they got that all the way up in Alaska. Although, I mean, it's got to come from somewhere. I don't know if they grow lettuce up in too much up in Canada. Probably be interesting to look into that kind of thing. Well, then Canada does too, I would imagine. There we go. Okay, so this is going in right here. Get an interesting little building design there. I'm excited about the stuff coming out about how some crops like growing under solar panels. That's like the coolest we're living in the future type stuff, you know? Increase crop yields and get free energy? It's pretty sweet. And use less water for some of them? Okay, there we go. Got that on. Oh. Oops. There's a 1x4 underneath here that I missed. There we go. Yeah, but it's stuff like tomatoes, which mostly are just grown out in the open, kind of thing. Alright, another wall back here. And get the roof on, and 2 1x2 tiles. Alright, there we go. Alright, so spare parts, sand green 1x1 cylinder plate, white 1x1 tile, and a trans orange feather flame piece. Okay, that is going to slide in there. Alright, so that's going to click on something on a clip. So let's get this down here. So there's a clip right here. Oops. Hold on. Accidentally pulled off the wall. There's a clip right there. That's going to grab onto the click hinge element. There we go. Just slide that right in. Oh, Meltdown is fire and wind? I feel like I may have known that, but I also very rarely use that spell. It, like, comes so late and everything. Sorry, hold on. I gotta blow my nose. Like, there's a good chance that by the time you get that, you already have Ultima. Just based on, you know, order of doing things. So there's a fair chance that, you know, you're not really going to use it too much. Learned about that because you were like, why is this monster absorbing Meltdown while taking damage from Faraga? Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that there aren't that many creatures that absorb wind. Because there aren't that many wind attacks, right? You know? Your main sources of wind attacks are either things, you know, random things like some of Mog's dances or certain weapons. On top of the fact that there aren't that many enemies that actually absorb it. You know, that are affected by it one way or the other. It's kind of a shame that the game doesn't have Arrow and Aroga. Almost all the wind spells in Blue Magic Dances, Rages, and a couple of weapons, yeah. Not like Final Fantasy IV is any better. I don't think Final Fantasy V had easy wind access either. Yeah. Whirlwind and like that doesn't really do wind damage per se. I mean, because its main thing is just dropping someone down to very low hit points kind of thing. Okay, I'll get some tiles on here. Right, well, I imagine that something immune to wind would be immune to that. Something that is healed by wind still might be healed by it or something. I don't know. It's also a spell that I don't use very often because I feel like a lot of things just, it doesn't work on. Well, Final Fantasy V had a lot more, like, rage dance type things that might have had some wind elements, like the Rangers call animals. I enjoy some of the weirder abilities in Final Fantasy V. Hey, he's Lord of the Dance, sir. I know, that's what I always think of. I think it might be the boots more than anything else. Alright, turn it around. 1x3 and 1x3. Yeah, I mean, just by, you know, the fact that we got them pretty late, they're my least played as well. Right, get some windows on here. But I actually really like Final Fantasy 2 and 3. You're enjoying Lennis Paladin's Quest, but it's still effing weird? Oh yeah, it's very weird. Very, very weird. Not that I've played it, but it's been a while, and it's been a while since I have looked at it as well. But yeah, I remember it being very weird. I do kind of enjoy being the odd person out who actually likes Final Fantasy II, though. Thinking of Lufia when you're done with FF6 on the SNES? Yeah, it's a good choice. We're going to do a body dungeon in reverse. Oops. All right. Turn it around. That on there. There we go. One by 5. 2 corrugated 2x2 cylinder bricks with a 2x2 tile with center stud and a special head. Go ahead and show this head off. So we got the Palantir, you know, that terrible company. I'm not exactly sure what this is on the back. Partly that's because I don't remember what Denethor saw in the Palantir. Perfectly normal scrying result, yeah. And it does have this this dome piece that we got with Mysterio. It goes over the head there. I mean, who hasn't seen doom and gloom in their crystal ball, right? I know I have. So, Gilded Tongue, what I hear you saying is that I should play Paladin's Quest. That's what I hear you say. Lisa Frank RPG. Palantir is supposed to allow communication? Yeah, but I mean, like, they were all, like, twisted by Sauron or something. It has been a while since I read the books. There we go. Now, 2 of these. 2 1x2 plates rather than a 1x4. Alright, turn it around. You do have to give Asmik credit. It doesn't look like any other RPG of its era. That is true. Not entirely sure that's a good thing, though. From what I recall it looking like. I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't played it yet, is that it just kind of looks weird to me. Soren got a hold of the minus Ithel one. Now Morgul, Palantir, and so it is now dangerous to use them because he's also using them. I mean, obviously, they had very bad IT security. They should really have beefed up security so that you're not getting any of that that cross chatter, you know? Okay, there we go. That building goes on there. All right, spare parts. We got dark gray 1x1 tile and white 1x1 round end tile with 2 windows. Remember the watercolor world you're stuck in when you first have Surge and Lynx's body in Chrono Cross? It's that color palette. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do remember that. It's very weird. Alright. Bag 55. And you know, he won't drive 55. Sauron, I mean. He's terrible. He only speeds. They're supposed to be linked together. Anyway, the point was that they weren't so much corrupted as it gave him an avenue to mess with you. Yeah, no, that's fair. I did misremember exactly what it was. But again, you know, should really have beefed up security so you don't get those unauthorized cross-communications. What I'm saying is that it's on men for not being better about their IT security. Does the Thunder Shield absorb wind? Thought it absorbed, it nullifies wind. Well, it probably would. Is Meltdown the one that hits both sides? Have I tried turning my Seeing Stone off and on again? Well, what I really want to try is to convince my players to use their crystal ball beyond its limit. That's really what I want to do. Get a magical device that drove you insane, you'd simply not use it. Keeps doom scrolling on their phone. Ah, but are you doom scrolling on Twitter, or are you doom scrolling on something else, like Blue Sky? Because that makes all the difference. It hits everyone, got it. Yeah, that's another reason why I don't use it too often. I mean, if everyone is absorbing fire, it's a pretty good way to make sure that you're not dying. Is doom scrolling on the SNES? Yes, it's called Taboo. There we go. Got a couple little buildings there. Killed yourself once in FF10 because you forgot Ultima didn't reflect. That's gonna happen. I don't know why they put that that 3L bar in there. A 4L bar would connect all of this, but I suppose there might be something that goes in the top. But it's also not really necessary. These things are going to connect up just fine. See, that makes all the difference, Gilded Tongue. I do like these new 1x2 or 2x1 smooth tile slopes. I very much appreciate those over the grill ones, which have their own use. Tile slopes are more useful, and I got these on the wrong side. Don't run away, Magic Urns. You just want their juicy magic points. No, run away! Run away before he sucks all your life force away. He'll do it too. He's a maniac on the dance floor. Three inches, you need to tear everything out of this bookshelf so you can move it 3 inches, then shove your dresser in beside it. Oof. Oof. Big oof. Still playing room Tetris, huh? I hate it when, like, what you want, everything is, like, you know, the room is just, like, 1 inch too small for what you want. Alright, there we go. Could make an octagonal rocket with this. Got most of it done before, but you have one more corner to declutter. Alright, clear 1x1 cylinder plates with hollow studs. Gold 1x1 cylinder tile with a top peg. That gets right on there at the angle. Then we take another one. We're going to take the inverted 2x2 dome. 2x2 cylinder tile with center stud. Get that on there. Connect that up. That feels very fragile, though. I mean, it doesn't come off if you shake it or anything, but it just feels a little fragile. But, oh well. Get that right on there. There we go. So we got a tower. A bell tower, I think. I think that's supposed to be a bell tower there. You have a whole corner missing, eating 20% of your floor space. What, was it abducted by aliens? So, just from a quick glance, with these tan 1x1 tile slopes on top, I thought this 1x3 plate needed to be beige. Because just at a quick glance, it felt beige to my eyes, but I look at it more closely. We're kidnapped by the Fellowship. Oh no! Those dastardly kidnappers. Alright, 4x4 with a cutout. 1x1 cylinder bricks on the corners. It was abducted by bad design. Basically, the square room is diamondized for a hallway into a neighboring room. Oh, so, like, square, but, like, angled right there. That is unfortunate. Does make it more difficult to use that space, yeah. Got it, yeah. Yeah, other than, like, just a piece of furniture that's designed to fit into along an angled wall, which there isn't that much of that's prefab or it wouldn't need to be custom made. You might be able to get, like, a triangular table or something that fits at that position. But yeah, even then, it's like, what do you put there? Oh, custom furniture is expensive, if you want it decent. It's not even the current woe. The corner that is all 90 degrees is just dormers. I have some odd furniture. I've had some odd furniture woes myself over the years, so I do understand. Nothing quite like an angled corner, though. Or clipped corner or something like that. I don't know what the proper term is. It's mostly like the room. So the room that I do my recording in has a little like bump out, like let's say this. Actually, let me just pop this off. So like, let's say that this 4x6 is that room. This is the actual room shape with that 1x2 there. So it's like, what do I even put in there? I love that you have 4 economizer relics. Bahamut OP, please nerf. Alright, so spare parts. We've got a tan 1x1 tile slope, gray 1x1 pyramid peak slope, sand green 1x1 peak slope, clear 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud, gold 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg, and a 3L bar in gray. I was about to say trans clear, and that's, like, redundant. Okay, so once again, there is a clip here. Right there. And the female click hinge is going to connect on to that. There we go. So that is that portion of the town and castle. In the advanced version, you can farm gem boxes. Well, that might be something that you can get by sketching Gao as well in the standard version. Okay, now it is putting this on here. So there we go. There we go. All right. So it's very, very close to the camera. Now that you have just got to be careful not to nuke your saves. Now that you have experience with that, with your 1.0 cart, goodness no. Wasn't surprised or bitter at all. I luckily never had that happen. And I always sketch Gao when I play. And, like, we discovered that accidentally. That was the best part. We didn't know about that. I forgot who was sketching, but apparently a lot of it has to do with the monster formations. That makes some sense. Just had a bad formation. I guess I've always had good formations. Always back up your saves, kids. Even on your carts. Ooh, shoot. I heard a piece go flying. Luckily, I can see exactly where it went. There it is. All right. 1x1 cylinder plate with a hollow stud, which probably is an extra one, but it would still be annoying. Someone uncovered how the glitch works and outlined everything. You just haven't looked at it in a while. I'll just make sure I back up my my saves before I try it. No, on an actual cart you can't do that. I know. I was joking. That is true. You can with a cart scanner. But that is extra hardware. That's also why I just emulate. Okay, so these have open anti-studs here, and I'm not sure if they are fitting fully in or not, so I actually want to do a test. Is that part of the normal geometry? Okay, it's not quite all the way in. It is out a little bit. Okay. Still, that's pretty neat. I never thought of trying that. Anti-studs? Why would someone be anti-stud? I don't know. Some people just like to watch the world burn. Now, anti-studs are these, the tubes on the underside. They're called anti-studs because they take studs inside. I oftentimes call them tubes. But that might be confused with other parts, which anti-stud wouldn't. But you do have to be careful, because studs and anti-studs, if you do it wrong, they can annihilate each other. This is pretty cool, though. White 1x2 tiles with center studs that I am not seeing where they are. There they are. Thus we can power faster than light travel with studs and anti-studs. Yeah, but it's still not as efficient as the Buttercat drive. Everything's better with a Buttercat drive. Butter-powered engine? I did make a Lego one, yes. It's not butter-powered. It's a butter and cat-powered, and also toast. Or bread. It is truly remarkable. Truly, truly remarkable. You can believe it? Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I built it as a module for, I think it was Brick Wars, for a Brick Wars game. Where everyone built modules, and we connected them all together, and then did basically like a little war game in it. A lot of fun. I built that as the drive engine, the drive section. Can you believe it's not butter? Well, it has to be butter. Otherwise, it's not a Buttercat drive. Then it would be an I can't believe it's not Buttercat drive, and that just doesn't roll off the tongue. And really, it's pretty easy that you can't believe it's not butter. They are more prone to failure. Now, the true Buttercat drive never fails. Not once. Until it explodes in a buttery popcorn kaboom? Well, it wouldn't. It would be a buttery cat kaboom, and that would just be gross. Which, luckily, in a true Buttercat drive, never happens. You gotta beware of imitations like the I can't believe it's not Buttercat drive. Or the Margarine Cat drive. That's one that you gotta be careful about. The tastiest toast? Ew. The old margarine drives you had to mix in your own cat coloring and flavoring. Well, they're also just not as reliable because, you know, bread always lands butter side down, but no one ever says anything about margarine side. Alright, there we go. So this goes on right here. This one goes on right here. This one goes on right there. And this one goes on right here. There we go. Okay, now we make the inserts. Well over 8 characters with Ultima. Thought I heard an electronic beep from my room. Not like the beep of, like, you know, a smoke detector or something like that. Just a very weird beep. It's like a wheep kind of sound. Power backup unit? No. Definitely not. A, I don't have one down here, and B, it wouldn't make that kind of wheep sound. So it was weird. Sounded like it also came from behind me, down on the floor. And there's nothing down there. Certainly nothing electronic. Probably my brain just being weird. Alien abduction? I mean, that could be. That could be. I mean, I did order the X-Files set. You know, the aliens might want that. Something in my room learned Ultima as well? I hope not. Because that would probably mean a spider or a cricket. Oh, whoops. Goofed up this one. I mean, who doesn't? Fun side note. She does have a birthday on a most auspicious day. My birthday. There we go. Alright, let's get these, make sure that they're straightened out. Okay, and then a 2x2 tan dome at the top. Okay, so this has been empty for a while, and this is what goes on it. Right there. Okay, now we're going to be building right here, which is going to be a little bit hard to show. There we go. That locks that all in. One by 3 in the back. And 2 3x3s there. Some wedge plates. It's going to be very difficult to show off as well. There we go. Alright, one there. One there. Not there. Right there. And 1x2 tile, right there. Okay. Now I have to rotate this around. Accidentally loosen things. Like this wall. There we go. Alright, fix that. There we go. Alright. One by three, two 3x3s. You share a birthday with John Pertwee? Nice. It's always fun to look at what cool people you share a birthday with. Alright, that's those 4 pieces. Now we get 4 of the triangle tiles. Howdy, Sealand, how's it going? Okay, there we go. All nice and tiled. Now, I believe we are going to be building the topper for that one. So let's get all these pieces here. Gonna do a bit of lurking while catching up on some couch time with your wife? No problem. Enjoy the couch time. And by couch time, I assume also that means cat bedtime. Sad that the food vendor at the deep-fried cheese curds are no longer at the Wednesday market. Oh. You just weren't buying enough. You wish you had a local market? Well, my sister, for a while, when she was living in this area, sold at a farmer's market. I would be rather surprised if there wasn't one near you, somewhere. But it kind of depends on how dense the population is, I suppose. Actually, when you're both on the couch, she usually ends up being the cat bed. I get that. Ladies be more comfortable than guys. Yeah, the farmers market here. I mean, I'm pretty sure there were multiple farmers markets, but they were also summer only. It's pretty common because they're usually selling like I mean, like half the people are selling like produce and stuff like that. Kinda hard to sell that in winter. Well, I suppose here it's more like everything but winter or mid-spring to mid-fall kind of thing. Something like that. I don't remember exactly the times. Sell fermented veggies in winter. Right, but not everyone does that. That takes different setups, oftentimes. But have you tried searching, like, online for farmers markets near me or something? You might be surprised, not a rogue AI. You want to make some more cabbage and sausage? There's a vendor at the Wednesday market that has canned veggies in that. Yeah, I mean, it's just more of a case of, like, just because you sell things that can be pickled doesn't mean that you want to get into pickling yourself, kind of thing. You know? Because you have to buy the equipment to set that up and then actually do it. Alright, 3x3 dome. And a 3L... Okay, the 3L bar goes all the way in. Okay. And then it gets up here. And on there. Alright. So, spare parts. Tan 1x1 cylinder plate. 1x1 round end plates in white with window print and gray. Without print, of course. White 1x1 tile. White 1x1 plate. Gray 1x1... cylinder plate with hollow stud, and white 1x1 tile slope. You think your family tried making pickles once? They didn't turn out right, and you don't know why? Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is, like, you gotta... If you want to sell them, then you also have to make sure that they turn out right and stuff. Howdy, Roval Jacks, how's it going? Sausage roll with a side of coffee. Nice. Alright. Let's get this back. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. Croissants, yes or no? Well, yes. Croissants are delicious. I mean, it's like bread baked with butter. Buttery goodness. All right, I believe we are going to be making the top part, which I will not be able to put on to the thing while it is on camera until I tip it on its back. Which I might do as, like, after we do the minifigs, because if I do that, it's going to be a pain in the butt to tilt it back up. Alright, and I need a dark red cloak. Pickle making is an art, yes. Just like murder is. Oh, this feels thicker. So it's black on one side and dark red on the other. I love these little envelopes. They're adorable. Alright, so before I put his armor on, let's go ahead and zoom on in. This day does not belong to one man, but to all. Let us together rebuild this world that we may share in the days of peace. Aragorn, TM. So we got decorated armor and a decorated torso. Let's get his thick, comfy cloak on. I'm leaving it zoomed in for the moment. Ooh. There you go. It was a little inverted there. Let's give him the happier face. There we go. And let's see, is this dual molded? Yeah, I believe this is dual molded. We get Aragorn as a king with his armor. And a fancy two-tone cloak, which is thicker. Like, I think that is like 2 sheets glued together or something. Oh, and he gets a sword. Where was that sword? There's that sword. Same sword piece that Gandalf has. Aragorn isn't your king? Well, you're not Gondorian. Oops. Chilly way up at the top level of the city? Well, that's why the rich sleep better. There we go. Alright. You didn't elect him. Watery tarts distributing swords is no way to form a government. That's true. It is true. Alright, so we are making the very top bit. Am I sure look at the results of all our other tries? Well, as the saying goes, democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others that have been tried. And it ain't wrong. I mean, I suppose it's possible that there is some form of future government that has not been developed yet that may be better. I kind of doubt it. But I think that it will have, at its heart, democracy. Okay, they really need to lock these down before doing too much else, I feel like. Alright, so we've got an inverted 2x2 tile. Actually put the mold mark back there. I won't have elected those cats, though. There we go. So that's we get that inverted there, and right there at the end. All the people allergic to cats will have been purged. Yeah, except cats love going towards the people who are allergic to them. So why would they want to get rid of those people? Obviously a dragonarchy? Well, yeah, but you guys would still, you know, elect the dragon. Obviously. Duh. I mean, we may be draconian, but we're not evil. Except for the red ones. There we go. Get that on there, so that locks all that in. There it is. There we go. Okay, 2 1x12s. 1x6. 1x6. Gondor was very colorful in its constructions? Well, yeah. But then they painted over it with white. This all represents, like, previous rulers and stuff, you know? Okay. Connect those into the ball sockets. Two 1x6s. 1x3, 1x3. Tan 1x2s. That gets in there, and that gets in there. In local news, your favorite restaurant moved to a new, bigger location last month, and not even a week after that, a new restaurant announced they were moving in after all the prep work was done. Well, I'm not surprised. That was probably, like, as soon as someone found out that that space was vacating, they probably jumped at the chance to locate there. Alright. Now, 1x3, 1x3, side stud and side stud, 1x3, 1x3. You sure that the mall owner was like, hurry up, we need the new restaurant to bring new freshness? Well, it'll still take a while to open up. There is, I think, a relatively new sandwich place called Nash and Smash that opened up near me. I have not been to. I should try it out at some point. I don't know if it's a chain or just a local place. I haven't heard of it before myself. There we go. Okay, 1x16 bricks. There we go. 1x6, 1x6, and 2 1x1 plates. Did I miss? I did. I was like, it seems weird that this would be left empty, and it in fact is weird. It's supposed to be a 1x2 tile right in there. So there we go. Okay. Well, something new to try. Even if they're expensive, you know, one time probably won't be too bad. Although, unless I know I'm gonna like the food, I generally don't like to try new places unless I'm like with people. So, because either I can like trade food with them, or someone else might eat mine, or at least other people can try it, that sort of thing. And you got good company, so it doesn't really feel like a waste if you don't like what you've gotten. Plan on trying it out at least once? Sounds pretty good. I hope it is delicious. It's always nice when you get like a new restaurant that you can go to add to your normal repertoire. Okay, there we go. Get that on the end. And there we go. Okay, get that on there. This one right there. And this one right there. There we go. So we got a little bit of rock facing as well as the white walls. Assume we... Oh, nope. There's going to be more tiling. I suppose that makes sense. Surprised that there aren't any tile slopes on any of this. Okay. Then on this side... Oops. One of these. There we go. Get you right on there, and... Same thing here. There we go. Now the tiles. I mean, that's fair. I mean, not a rogue AI. Not trying something because you're pretty sure they won't have things that you like or something like that. Yeah, no. I wouldn't be trying a new Mexican place, that's for sure. Because I don't really like Mexican food. Alright, spare parts. White 1x1 tile slope. There we go. Bag number 58. We got pizza from a place that we don't usually get pizza from before. Not that it was, like, not a new chain by any stretch, but a local chain that we just, you know, hadn't tried. But they sent out, you know, those usual coupons that you get in the mail. So it was like, you know, might as well try it. And they didn't want to take the coupon after saying on the phone that they would take the coupon, and then... like saying, oh, you have specialty ingredients when it was like extra cheese and sausage. So just kind of like very rude and stuff like that. So back to our usual then. Yeah, they lost a potential customer there. Like, honestly, if it were me, and, like, let's say corporate sent out these coupons, and I had initially no intention of taking them. Someone comes in who's a new customer, and they want to use that coupon, I would be like, sure. Because that's a potential new customer. But more of those coupons have come in the mail, and just right into the garbage they go. Only place you bought pizza from aside from grocery stores lately has been Peace, Love, and Pizza. Well, that's a fun name. I will once again reiterate my my comment. If any of you find yourself in Cairo, there is a really good pizza and pasta place called Kairoma. Highly recommend them. It's a bit of a stretch, but you know. You do have to go to a whole other country for it. Bad first impressions are not helping their business. Exactly. It was just like very, very rude and stuff, especially when they said on the phone that they took the coupon. And then clearly lying about why. You know, you ordered specialty ingredients, which, you know, are most certainly not on the list of specialty ingredients. You will keep that in mind if you somehow find yourself in Cairo. It is a great trip. I highly recommend it. By far my favorite vacation, and I've been to Legoland parks. Multiple Legoland parks. So, you know, it's pretty high praise. Well, I think, like, for, like, one of the specialty ingredients is, like, capicola ham or something like that. And, yeah, like, I get that being a specialty ingredient that maybe the sale price isn't valid for. This was just like standard sausage. The kind that you can get at any old pizza place. There we go. That goes on there. Alright, gray bracket, there it is. 1x1 to 1x2 downward bracket, and a 1x4 plate. I mean, I'm a big fan of simple pizzas, so I very, very rarely go for specialty ingredients. I'm a simple dragon with simple likes. Ham. Which is also not a specialty ingredient. Need to get Magic the Gathering cards for spooky October month? That's true. I could suggest a very old one. With Tony DiTerlizzi art. I don't remember what it's called, though. Makes it a little bit harder. Right, headlight brick here. With a 1x1 pyramid peak slope. One by 2 plate, and a 2x3 curved slope. Like I said, I don't remember the name of it. I was mostly joking. I just remember from when I was going through my cards oh so long ago now. I need to dig out the rest of my cards so that I can take them up to sell them, to get them sold off and everything. But I was surprised because I had some DiTerlizzi artwork that I didn't think I had. I didn't think I was in Magic long enough for that. There we go. Okay. 2x3. 2x3 tile with 2 clips. And a 2x3 tile there. I spoke to someone who wasn't their card person, and they were like the card person wasn't there that day, and I meant to call back later. But I also need to like find all of my duplicates. Like those were all my single cards, my one-offs, or they were like, you know, in binders like you do. But they were... Oh, I think that might have been it. Frozen Shade. That sounds familiar. But they, like, it was just, kind of brain farting here. Like, I have single copies of each of the cards in binders. In sheets, and I need to find the rest. Okay, I missed what goes there. Oh, yeah. Alright, 1x2 white plate. One by 2 gray plate. And 1x1 tile. I mean, the thing is like, until someone actually brings them in, I don't know that they get too excited. Because you're gonna end up with people like me who call about it and then don't actually do anything. Nope. Not that. You never actually expect anyone to bring in a mint Black Lotus? Well, and, I mean, you also don't want to, like, say you'll pay anything for cards without having seen them. But the bigger thing, I think, is just people who call in and then never actually show up. Like I did. Alright, some nice fountain water there. Yeah, I do have 2 that are worth about $500, so... But I'm not in any rush. Okay, there we go. Get that right in there. You saw a Magic the Gathering collection on Antique Roadshow, and you were like, Magic the Gathering cards are now antiques? There was a Black Lotus card in that collection, and was like, yeah, that'd do it. I mean, there was one with Pokemon cards, too, so, you know. Antiques Roadshow is also, like, a lot of it is about collectibles. As opposed to things that are necessarily just antiques. Howdy, Shield of Hope, how's it going? I don't have anything that rare. One of the 2 cards that I have that is valuable, I'm pretty sure I got in a trade, as opposed to in a pack, but I could be misremembering. I'd have to go back and look to see what set it's actually from. It's one of the hybrid lands. You always assume antiques being older than 60 years. No, oftentimes it's like 20. That can be when it starts becoming antique. Like, it's kind of weird, but I think they put a cap on cars where the car has to be from before, like, the late 90s around here for it to be considered the car version of that. All right, another bell tower. There we go. Okay, that goes right here. Car collectors want to avoid emissions laws. Yeah, that's the thing. One of the reasons why I will not get an antique car. Alright, so we got a white mace head. This is originally came in pearlescent, translucent in the D&D minifig. And then we get a sunflower flower piece for the fountain. That's a nice fountain. I like that. Okay, before we put these together, spare parts: white 1x1 tile slope, gray 1x1 pyramid peak slope, sand green 1x1 peak slope, tan 1x1 quarter cylinder tile, and gold 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg. Okay. So we want to slide that right in there and push this all together. There we go. All right, bag number 59 out of 60. And there goes that dome piece. You still need a tiny running Denethor that's on fire? Well, that's what Lego pieces are for. You can make one. Had an idea, but I'm not sure where the part is. There is a trans-orange microfig in one of the Marvel or Spider-Man sets. Minifig sets. It's just a plain light lime for the legs. My water cup is really sweating. Okay, no cape on her. Got a couple faces. Go ahead and zoom in on Arwen. So this is her standard face with a silver tiara. There's a smiling face. All right, it's a little tight on there. I noticed it was a little off-centered. There we go. Oh, this is soft plastic, but hard plastic on the ears. So that's interesting. Actually, that's centered, but now that's not. All right, so the printing is actually off center on this one, because it's centered here, but it's not centered there. Interesting. It's a slight error. There we go. Nice, nice hair though. Married your cousin, many times removed. Yes, but first cousins are only 1% more likely to generate birth defects compared to the average population. So, you know, it's perfectly fine. Now, if you keep doing it, that doesn't apply. That's a one-time thing. Okay, and the microphone. You know, the famous microphone staff of Gondor. Should ask for a new one if there's an error. It's not a critical error. I don't care that much, and it's not like it's a head that I will make use of much. Although, they don't make too many yellow elf ears, unfortunately. So there's our tapestry, flag, pennant, banner thingy. It's very tall. But it looks pretty nice. It's actually showing up a lot better on the camera than it is for me. I'm getting a lot of reflection on that. The white tree, indeed. I would rather share one lifetime with you than face all the ages of this world alone. Arwen TM. Okay, back here. Two 1x2 tiles with center studs, 2x4, and 1x3 plate. There we go. Paladin picks up the microphone staff and yells, "I cast Fireball!" Paladins can't cast Fireball, though. Alright, double fencing. One by 3 brick. 3 2x4 bricks, and a brick. There is our brick. Are you sure they can't in 5e? I don't know. I don't care about 5e, though. I don't care what happens in 5e. That's, There's a reason why on a bunch of D&D Discords, I edited my screen name to say always talking 2e, because I'm always talking 2e. Problem solved. Alright. 4 gray 2x2 cylinder plates. That's 3. That's 3 and then 1 over there. A 1x6. 2 1x2 tiles. I mean, it's theoretically possible in second edition for a paladin to dual class as a mage as well. I would probably require I mean, I would most certainly require them to still act as if they're paladins, follow the restrictions and everything. And I would also require them to follow a deity that also is at least somewhat magical. The asymmetry? Yeah, not all things are symmetrical. Castles oftentimes aren't. You were listening to a YouTube video where a 5e player was talking about the time they were in a high-level one-off campaign where they multiclassed as every class. I would think that would be not terribly effective. Because 2e multiclassing, second edition multiclassing and dual classing have some similarities to later edition multiclassing, but they are substantially more powerful. Like, if you multiclass in 3E as, you know, trying to be even between fighter and mage, by the time everyone else is 10th level, you're 5-5. But in second edition, you'd probably be 9-9, give or take. It's a lot more powerful. Gets weird with how they did saves in second edition or later editions. I don't know how they did it in later editions. Right, that's what I mean. Is like you'd have only weak abilities, and I assume your base attack bonus or whatever the equivalent attack thing is would just be abysmal. Or is it cumulative? Oh, and third? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would assume your saves would not be very good unless everyone has the same saves based on the total number of levels they have. Which to me is kind of weird because you're kind of stealing some class abilities from some of the classes. Yeah, see, in 2E, if there's a level 20 level cap, that means you can get to level 2020, assuming that there's, you're playing a race that can be unlimited advancement in those classes in the first place. Well, yeah, but humans can't multi-class, and if you dual-classed and you're 2020, one of your classes is unusable. Although at that point, it doesn't matter because you're at the level cap, so you wouldn't, you'd be at the level cap and you wouldn't be gaining XP. But there's also no actual level cap in 2E. It is, for the sake of it's getting a little ridiculous here, kind of thing. It is 30 in the standard edition and 40 in the Forgotten Realms. But back in 1E, they actually did have an adventure that had 100th level characters, although it was kind of ridiculous. Challenge getting to 2020 Defile or Psionicis when dual classing? Yep. Which is also interesting, not a rogue AI, because on Kryn, you are supposed to be spirited away if you surpass level 18. So, you know. Are you sure that's first edition and not Beckme Basic? Because I know that there's two different types of Gargantuans in the early game. There are Gargantuans that are your actual, Godzilla-style kaiju. Although actually it's Gorgo, but it's neither here nor there. And those were in Oriental Adventures. And then Beckme had Gargantua that are not as big. They're only like 36 feet tall rather than like 60 feet tall. And they had trolls and carrion crawlers statted out with details on making others. Not Torgo, Gorgo. The British kaiju. No love for Mormo and the Thousand-Faced Moon, I know. I love how that you have that origin for Gorgo, and yet Dorkin is like says that the name comes from the Gorgon. The Gorgon, in other words. But he pronounces it weirdly. Alright, so we got an elbow macaroni piece, but it's not the straight 90-degree angle that the other ones are. I think you need 2 of these to get 90, although that might not even be that. I don't know. But I haven't gotten any of these before. The White Tree of Gondor TM. The Tree of Kings will bloom again with the return of the king. Why is he so special? I'm not sure that this tree is very healthy, though, because, let me tell you. There's no chlorophyll in this thing. There we go. Okay. What is this, Mormo? I don't know. There's a line. I think it's it might be in the Bible or some Gnostic texts about Gorgo and Mormo of the Thousand-Faced Moon or something like that. Alright, so spare parts. We've got 2 bison horns, long bison horns in white. We've got a white 7-petal flower, a white 1x1 tile, a white 1x1 cylinder plate, a white 6L bar or 5L bar with stop, a 6L bar I think it is, and a gray microphone. But we know it from the Touch of Satan, yes. MST3K episode. That is correct. Alright, bag number 60. And we finally get to use this additional part of a 16L... Yeah, 16L axle. Alright. So we might actually be finishing this roughly on time, actually. It is only 9:30. Man, I'm good. Our first session even, we built 2 gifts with purchase, so that wasn't even like a full session of this. Let's see. The box, 8278 pieces. 6 sessions. Yeah, I can do about 1,500 pieces in 3 hours. 500 pieces an hour, give or take. Depends on the complexity generally, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, that might be the origin. I don't know. I think I remember. I vaguely remember looking it up once. Just look up Gorgo and Mormo. You will probably get a bunch of MST3K stuff, but that should get you the right thing. It might be more of like a... it might be from one of the demonology texts or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked it up. I would be surprised if it's actually from Lovecraft, though. Because I don't remember that, and also, it'd just be weird for that one movie to draw from. Nope. Okay. Actually, wait a second. No, I just need to turn this around and... yeah, this one. There we go. And then I want this one. Nope. That's the way that I want it. There we go. Okay. Get that on there. And white macaroni tiles. You'd also check Wikipedia. That would probably have it as well. Because I feel like I read it there on Wikipedia. But like I said, it has been probably 5 years at least since I looked it up. Got curious after watching that. Okay, so we want to make sure that this lines up. So, where is... Yeah, alright. There we go. You're talking about farming flan princesses for pigtails and not getting the drops, yet on a Discord, and someone mentioned that was why they don't grind. They don't item grind. Yeah, I don't. I'm not surprised. It is one of those things that can be extremely frustrating. I think more games should have a mean time to happen type thing, where the longer you're working at it, the higher the chance is. I mean, if you're having fun, nothing is a heresy. Okay, lots and lots of half bushings. I don't know who Jan Hus is. Well, so mean time to happen is where like you'll tend to get it within X amount of time. So if you grind for an hour, then you're pretty likely to get it, kind of thing. And that's done by having basically a percentage chance that increases the longer you're working at it. Guy that created Hussite and the Bohemians got the Hussite Wars for it? Ah, okay. It's kind of funny. I saw someone post about, there was an article about a guy who was pretty clearly getting dopamine hits from using AI chatbots, and it was pretty clear that his family or friends had an intervention that forced him to come to terms with what was an addiction. And some random user is like, we shouldn't be getting, attacking people for the types of dopamine hits they get. And the guy was like, we regulate what types of dopamine hits people can get all the time. Like, we had a big problem with the way Ed Gein got his dopamine hits. And Jeffrey Dahmer. And alcohol, yes. Just on a simple thing. I mean, obviously the idea was to first draw the connection to drugs and alcohol, but also, we kind of say, no, that's bad to people who get their kicks from murdering people. It's kind of bad. Okay, 3 of these. You're talking... I think you were talking that you were getting more rare drops from the ogres while farming the Mind Flayer items? Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, they have a... It is a more common drop for them. Ald. Murder is bad. Also Ald. Murder is art. In games, it can be. Yay for fiction. Giant gloves are the same as the pigtail and drop rates? Oh, alright. Well, I don't know. It's just luck. Can't believe everyone trying to restrict what kind of art I can enjoy. What kind of art do you enjoy? Murdering people. Alright, so these are going on to the black axles there. There. And there. Two, three. I mean, it's okay for Goya to make Saturn devouring his son, but if you were to devour a child, exactly. I'm just doing what Goya did. Can't believe you're not letting me have my baby dinner. What would Goya do? Probably just draw about it, not actually do it. How's that? When's your really bad joke from a buddy of yours meant to kind of incite disgust? Which, for obvious reasons, you will not impart. I mean, who isn't, really? Set a man on fire, he will be warm for the rest of his life. It's true. It's true. You're just doing him a kindness. You're just doing him a kindness. Why do people have to get so angry about you doing them a kindness, right? You've seen that painting and some of his other paintings in person when you were in Madrid? Nice. I have not been to Madrid myself. Okay, we are looking for that one. Right there. Okay. Why does FF4 Final Dungeon have opening music in it? I don't know what you mean. You mean the prelude? I mean, it's pretty common to reuse motifs frequently. Yeah, the title track is the prelude, the crystal theme. Prologue is the music you get in Final Fantasy I when you cross the bridge for the first time. Okay, so on the other side there. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. Okay, 2 of these. The Red Wings theme. Gotcha. Well, I mean, like I said, it's just it's very common to reuse motifs. You get it more with later games where you just have a lot more music. Ancient Gondorian Saturn V. Yeah, the moon's seen better days. At least for the moon, it isn't gnomes with ladders. I mean, that's better than a rocket accidentally crashing into it. Okay, so on that one and that one. There we go. Right, but that's also intentional. Generally, when sending a rocket up, you know where all the parts are going to go. Get to a moon with a giant cannon? That's a video game reference. Obviously. Nothing else. Martian Dreams. who even played Worlds of Ultima. You shut your filthy mouth, sir. There we go. Okay, now we make the rocket topper, aka where the Rocketeer is. There we go. There we go. We got a fancy tower. It's so fancy. Oh, right. This was supposed to go on here. I didn't put it on. There we go. Now this goes right there. Alright, spare parts. White 1x1 tile, black 1x1 tile with round end, dark gray friction half pin, and a white spear point thingy. So there we go. We have the very top of the tower of Minas Tirith. And, you know, considering the size here, imagine being Denethor running all this way. That's a really long way. It's a really long way. Orcs, goblinoids, lizardmen, what else should you sprinkle on this here volcanic tropical island chain? Yeah, I gotta go with dinosaurs. Alright, now come the days of the king. May he be blessed. Gandalf DM. And it specifically suggests moving all the parts separately. There they are. Okay. Well, I will see about getting this displayed for you guys after the minifigs. We are going to do that first. Now the true challenge, all getting you pictures of this. Yes, that is the true challenge. Luckily, I think, especially with Wednesday being probably not LEGO stream days for a little bit at least, because I will be joining Zerfall and others in some Cure Hospital Simulator fun times. Go ahead and get onto, there we go. So you guys have that vision while we do this. Alright. D6, 4. So we're going down the middle. Will I play the Cure? No, because we don't want to get 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want to get demonetized and stuff. Alright. We do have an ad break just about to start, unfortunately. But, can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in! Let's go ahead and roll my die. 16! That is Little Red Riding Hood. So 5 for Bahamut, that would be Triton. 3 for Nadarogea, that would be the bunny. Just figured I didn't like the Cure. Cure's fine. That's right, she's a hobbit since she has shorty feet, shorty legs. They're not my favorite, but I don't dislike them either. Songs tend to be a little depressing. But I mean, like, Friday I'm in Love is a classic. It's a great song. First guess is a Minotaur Guildhall building owner. And the ad break is running, unfortunately. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? I will say that the height of Minas Tirith isn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. I'll be honest. Like, it is beyond the camera height, but it's really that tower that does it. Like, the fountain could still get under the camera. I don't think the camera could focus on it, but, you know. Right, I also need my timer up. That would help. There we go. All ready to go. You don't have your dice handy, so you'll say 10. All right, that would be Tarzan, which I'm not sure if there are any more left, but Ed and Comedian, they do physical comedy involving clubs and screaming audience members. Oh, they're so funny. All right, predictions are closed. And go. That's okay. Like, there was only 3 marks, and I don't know how many there actually are in this set, so there may still be some left. It's just hard to say. Okay. 16.95. I believe we have the hippie. I think I felt his hair. It is indeed the hippie. There we go. All right. Let's choose the outcome within 20 seconds. Complete that prediction. Who's getting the hams? Bahamut and Kinshir getting all the hams. Iagra going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. I really like the tie-dyed t-shirt. Thought the hippie had no face for a second. I mean, you could do that just by doing this. Which does get some, like... That would be very freaky. I should do that sometime by having, like, faceless minifigs chasing after other minifigs. That'd be great. Very similar hair. You know, separated at birth, I'm sure. Peace and love, man. And the classic flowers on a sprue, which we are going to pull off. So it has them like this. I prefer them like this. So I'll get your guys' feelings on it. Never saw flowers on a sprue in your years of LEGO? Wow. How many different colors has that hairstyle come in now? This hairstyle is only in the one, because he's got this headband. Like, that's a unique mold. Where's my zoom? Where's my zoom? Zoom. There's my mouse cursor. There it is. Okay, so I like the flowers like this. This is how they're portraying it in the instructions. Most LEGO instructions portray them like this, though. Now, this is a way to make different, you know, flowers. You could have both on different things, but I do prefer that one. I mean, this one to that one. Like, this just feels too flat. This gives you some texture. It's got a great face, tie-dyed t-shirt. Nothing on the back, but it does have arm printing. And a fun vest. The hair kind of covers up some of the details, though. Any sets use those as floor tiles? The flowers? No. It would be impossible since the stud is on top. You'd have to have a completely reversed thing, and I don't think they are... I think they're a little bit too wide to fit next to each other. Alright, let's go ahead and mark him off. He's totally groovy, man. I know, right? Totally groovy. Alright, next up, we've got Series 6. What about for the elf lady? I mean, again, it has dual molded with the ears, so that's unique to her. That might have been in a few other sets with Arwen or other lady elves from the Lord of the Rings line. I don't know. 6, so we're going over here. 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. Yeah, I mean, like, unique hair that is designed for a specific character generally doesn't get many other colors. It's possible that they use that hair for some male elves as well, so that might come in blonde, but I don't know for sure. The fact that this is soft plastic makes me think probably not, though. Alright, can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage die. Alright, 5. So that is the Bandito. Where's my mouse cursor? There it is. Alright, so 14 for Not a Rogue AI. That would be the Butcher. 6 for Bahamut. That would be the Flamenco Dancer. 8 for Shield of Hope. That would be the Minotaur. 3 for Iagra. That would be the sleepy guy in pajamas. Still calling number 13 Shar. That one you're calling Shar. Leonin Flamingo Dancer, huh? A Minotaur Guildhall Caretaker. Shar with a bazooka at a Bawaku. That's some imagination you have. I'll grant you that. Alright, timer is all ready. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Come on, Minotaur. Question, how self-sufficient is Evermeet? Pretty self-sufficient. It's a pretty big island. Like, I think it's larger than... Like, it's probably larger than Great Britain. Men can wear pink, sure, absolutely. Yeah, but he didn't wear pink. Alright, predictions are closed. Alright. And go. Alright, there's a head. What do we got here? What do we got here? Is that what I think it is? No, it is not. That's a torso. Never mind. It's not what I think it is. Okay. Ooh, a 20.9. That's over 20 seconds. I believe we have the Roman soldier. So 20.9. Yes, we do. All right. So 20.9, that is 20 to 50. Choose the outcome. Complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Lord Canis and Kinshir getting all the hams. Very nice. About a 5 times payout. Bahamut going for within 20 seconds. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. So no printing on the back. They're not dual molded legs. So this is really desperately in need of an update. This is the same helmet as the other Roman soldier, who I will pull out momentarily. Yeah, he is more of a Hastati, isn't he? How could I? Hey, I didn't do it. The dice did. The dice dictated what I pulled out. That's so you can't blame me. So no back printing. Also, this means that he's running around with his bare butt. But good printing otherwise. Cool torso there. This is a standard helmet. Love the shield. This is a great shield. I got a bunch of these undecorated in black. I don't know what they were in, but they were obviously in something. They were in Pick-a-Brick. Where is our Roman Centurion? There he is. There we go. So, here we go. Got the two guys together. This seems a little bit darker than this one. The helmet. But this is fantastic, having these two guys together. I love it. Very happy to have gotten them. Really, 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 really want a full, like, Roman camp set. I think that would be amazing. Roman soldiers are known for their buttless pants. That's fair. That is true. But great pair of minifigs. Also, this guy has also got buttless pants. So it's accurate. Shield guy looks taller. He's not. If anything, this guy's taller because of the slight height that the cape in between his neck gives. Between his neck and the head. Alright, let's go ahead and zoom back on out. There we go. All right, Roman Centurion. That is one of the minifigs that I was most looking forward to in this set. So I'm very happy to have gotten that. Let's switch on over to our weights. Pull out our scale. Because we have Series 29. Alright, D6. They need to do a Roman arcade at some point. Like, I'd love, like, Greek and Roman sets. Really, really want those. 3, so once again, going over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so D8. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come on, Ninja. You want that Ninjago fig, huh? Alright, let's start that prediction. Can all guess what is, where are you? There you are. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. Ooh. Potential new, Oh, there's an official reveal of a gift with purchase. I don't know when it's going to be available, but Restaurants of the World, Greece. That looks lovely. I want that gift with purchase. That looks great. Alright, so let's see. Bahamut and Nadarogai both got 1. That would be the Robo-Dinosaur. 8 for Iugra, that would be the tuba player. I also need to get my die out. 6 for a Shield of Hope. That would be the sludge monster. A Leonin Roman Legionnaire, and a Minotaur Guild Charter Document Writer. Okay, let's get the scanner up. There we go. Okay, get your predictions in. Yep, Robo Dinosaur. Immune to your threats of pickles. You have a Minotaur shop owner in a Neverwinter Nights module you made ages ago? That's fun. I should do more with Baffatars. Alright, get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. Not Bath as in Baphomet. They are corrupted. Alright. Alright, first of all, let's go ahead and shake it. Predictions are in. Alright, definitely a lot of pieces, it sounds like. I'm going to say that it is the Bionicle fan. They're in 2E, actually, Lord Canis. Hey, no worries, little bunny. Alright, Die says Chocolatier. I said the Bionicle fan. Let's see what the weight says. 17.66. That is kind of off. It is closest for Lloyd, the ninja. All right, so the weight says Lloyd the ninja. Let's scan it and find out. Mysterious Ronin. Yep. All right. So that is going to be a yes with weight if it is correct. And it will be, of course. Okay. That is correct. All right, let's choose the outcome. Yes with weight. Complete that prediction. So who is getting the hams? Lord Canis, Kinshir, and Niagara getting all the hams. Very nice. About 2.5 times what you put in. Bahamut going for yes with guess. Shield of Hope going for yes with die roll. And Lel Bunny going for no. Thought Ronin were a samurai, not ninja. It's okay. It's okay. They can call them what they want. They're basically Minotaur tieflings. Make him happy. We get another one, we can make him less happy. Stick his sword through his back sheath. And pop off one of the shurikens. Which are soft plastic. So we get 3 extras, including the sprues. Well, they would specifically be samurai. So there is some back printing. I guess we could take a look at that as I decapitate him. Some back printing, front printing. Nice dark green. Too bad I don't have much use for the designs. There is some shoulder printing, actually. I don't know why the pauldron is only on one side. There's his fighting face. But it's actually a pretty nice cowl piece with a bit of hair. Alright, let's go ahead and mark him down. There we go. Did I mark you down? Yes, I did. Alright. So, before we wrap things up, I'm going to see if I can get the... get this on its back and display it. Put my my Roman soldiers in a special place. There we go. All right. Make sure everything's out of the way. Let's be sure that we're... Oh, right. Let's slide that off so it doesn't, like, knock on anything. Okay. Trying to think of what the best place to grab it from is. Probably right there. Alright, what fell out? That. That's fair. That's not actually in there very tightly. Well, broke off the tree. Where's the stud? There's the stud. Alright, move that there. Let's get the gates. Well, there that goes. I'm going to take these pieces off so that they don't fall. Of course, one of them already did. What can you do about it? Okay. So it is all connected up. You go ahead and pull it back here. Maybe try tilting it, hopefully, so it doesn't, like, break or anything. Nope, that's not... I don't know that that's stable enough. Alright, so you can kind of see it. It doesn't slide on its back very well, which is not that surprising, really. Oh yeah, the cherry fell out of the table. Oh, actually, the whole table fell off. Let's go ahead and grab that. That might be part of the problem. Alright, so yeah, so it is so close that all you can really see is the gate there. We can open it up, though. So, yeah. Little difficult to get it all on camera, unfortunately. It is very big. Now, the good news is that we are not going to be building something this big on Friday, and we're not going to be building something this big, I think, for the foreseeable future. I want to get some things done that are a bit smaller. I do have some big sets that I want to build, but I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't do that a lot. It's not gray, it's white, Like, this is all white. It's just that it's so close that it's auto-correcting the color. See, if I get my hands in there, you can see that it's white. I mean, there's a lot of gray, too, back there on the tower part. But it really is mostly white. But it is very cool. It is a difficult-to-display piece, though. But I think that is going to wrap us up for this time. We will be back on Friday for a little bit of a special build. We'll be back on Saturday for some more Spelljammer. We'll be back next Monday for something probably not... Oh, well, let me rephrase. Almost certainly not Dragon Quest VII. I think I'm happy with where we ended it. I don't think I need to go through the post-game. I went through the post-game of the original, and I personally like the original better. So there's that. I did look. There's a couple dungeons. You do go fight the Almighty. That is the first bit of post-game. Then the second bit is fighting the Almighty plus the 4 spirits. And I'm good. I'm good. I don't feel like I need to do it. If the game, like, the game is fun to play, but it's super easy, and I'm sure that those bosses will not be easy. There's also, like, the bosses. There's a new challenge in the arena as well. That's where you get one of the gold fragments. I don't know. It's just, I don't feel an urge to do that. You know, I just don't feel the need to do that. So I think we're going to be wrapping this up, wrapping that game up where we did, and play something different on Monday. What exactly that will be, I don't know yet. Tune in to find out. We'll be back next Wednesday, and not for Lego building, but as things stand, we will be playing some Cure Hospital Simulator with a whole bunch of other people. If that falls through, then I might do Lego building anyway instead. I don't know. We'll see. But I think I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff that should only take one stream to complete. Anyway, that is where we're going to wrap it up tonight. I want to thank you guys for coming on out. And I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.